Presiding Officer, anyone visiting my parliamentary office in this building will see in prominent display one of what I believe is the most powerful messages about women. It is a Mind the Gap poster of a scowling young girl beside a smiling young boy, and the caption reads, "Prepare your daughter for working life. Pay her less pocket money than your son." Unfortunately, this is so true for women in Scotland. It is shocking that over 40 years since the Equal Pay Act was passed, women are still paid on average less than their male counterparts. The most recent report from the UK's Office of National Statistics in December 2013 makes alarming reading. In the UK, the gender pay gap has widened from 9.5% to 10% for full-time workers, and for part-time employees, it's even wider, going from 19.6% to 19.7%. These figures are truly shocking, and is just one example, alongside many, like women's representation in politics, women's representation in the STEM professions, and the number of women in senior positions in the workplace, that demonstrate that we are a long way off from achieving gender equality. And it is a problem that affects women at every level, in every sector. Our professions, our scientists, technologists, women in every sphere of employment in Scotland have the potential to be, I don't have time, to be subject to this blatant discrimination. Encouraged by Professor Anne Glover, now Chief Scientific Advisor to the President of the European Commission, the Royal Society of Edinburgh established a working group chaired by the eminent astrophysicist Dame Jocelyn Bell Burnell. The Royal Society of Edinburgh 2012 paper, Tapping All Our Talents, is a cohesive and comprehensive strategy aimed at increasing both the proportion of women in the workplace qualified in STEM and the number who rise to senior positions in universities, in our research institutions, in government, business and in industry. The report states, women who do remain in the STEM workforces are still segregated by occupation in horizontal segregation and grade, vertical segregation. These forms of segregation significantly impact on both a woman's ability to achieve her potential and her earning capacity. The number of women who advance to the most senior positions in STEM remains proportionately much smaller than that of their male counterparts. It is an excellent report and acknowledges that there has to be significant cultural change to tackle this problem. And in its many recommendations, it calls on both the Scottish Government, business and our educational establishments to address the issues around gender inequality and the pay gap. This is so important, Presiding Officer, because if we don't get this right, the consequences are very clear for all to see.
Final minute.
Last week, South Lanarkshire Council agreed a settlement in their equal pay claims for 3,000 individuals, many of whom are women. The failure to implement the Equal Pay Act has led to women being denied the wage for the work that they have been undertaking. 20 years in the making, this problem will now see an average payout in the region of 25,000 people. This is a life-changing amount of money for many, but it should have been life-changing for those women over the years of their working lives. And I'm so very sorry that for some who have sadly died in the interim, they will not benefit from this settlement. Failure to act has stored up a problem for the Labour Council, who will now have to find £75 million to settle claims, money that should have already been paid out over the intervening years, with much less potential to the detriment of frontline services in the South Lanarkshire area. There is no doubt women do have the most to gain from independence.